So one of the biggest struggles that my students and anybody who does yoga has is their wrists. Particularly if you're beginning or if you're increasing the amount of yoga that you do, you might well have experienced wrist pain, wrist aggravation. I had a wrist injury in both of my wrists actually a few years ago. Some of you who've been around for a while will know that. And so we need to look after our wrists. It is an essential part of our yoga practice. If we are going to do planks, chaturangas, downward facing dogs, we need to look after our wrists. And that is exactly what we're going to do today. After yesterday's downward facing dog flow and tomorrow's, I won't tell you all about it, but you're going to need to look after your wrists for it. Then we are going to be focusing today on how we can protect our wrists, strengthen and stretch, and that combination to really ensure that our wrist health is on top form. So welcome to your Advent calendar, and we're going to dive straight in today. If you've never met me before, my name is Naomi and I am a yoga and meditation teacher. So we're going to hop straight in today. So finding yourself just kneeling. If you want to sit cross-legged, you're more than welcome to sit cross-legged. Just find yourself in a comfortable position if kneeling doesn't suit you. And we're going to clasp our hands, turn our palms away from us, and just gently begin to inhale. Lift the hands up, keep the lower ribs drawn in, and exhale, release the hands out in front of you. And do feel free to close the eyes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release the hands out. We're going to do two more. Inhale and rise. Just bringing yourself onto the mat, bringing yourself present. Exhale, lower. Inhale and lift. So although this is actually predominantly working through the shoulders, we are stretching through the wrists. Exhale, lower. And then just turn the palms to face you. Drop the chin to the chest and feel that stretch through the shoulders. If we're more relaxed and open through the shoulders, mobile, we're also going to find those wrists benefit too. And then just gently release, roll those shoulders a couple of times, and then clasp the hands together and make sure that the heels of the hands, so the base of the hand, is clasped and touching. And then we're going to bring our forearms together. We're just gently going to draw a figure of 8 with our knuckles. And you might have a lot of cracks and clicks and just generally a little bit of chatter from those wrists. Don't worry about it. Close the eyes and draw those figure of 8s. Just let those clicks happen. Really try to keep the forearms attached, the heels of the hands together, and then take those figure of 8s the other way. So although we're working on the health of our wrists, finding some strength, it might all feel a little bit different. There's no need to lose that sense of calm, that yogic idea of coming into the present moment. So really just use your breath as we move through these stretches and exercises today. And then just release. Maybe take the hands to the thighs, roll those shoulders one more time. And then turn the hands so that the palm faces away from you and you spread your fingers nice and wide. So take your right hand out to begin. And then draw your little finger in towards your elbow. So use your left hand, just loop it around the little finger and draw it in towards you. Then shift to the ring finger. You can keep your eyes closed for all of this if you want, the middle finger. And really make sure the whole time that your fingers are spreading away from one another. Move to the index finger. And then finally to the thumb. So you're going to really start to feel that all the way through the finger joints, through the wrist. Circle out the wrists, switch sides, left hand turns away, the palm faces away from you, fingers are really spread. Take the right hand just gently to the finger, draw it back. So you're not forcing anything, you're just encouraging a gentle stretch. Opening up through the underside of the wrist and the palm, middle finger now. Remember that soft breath, and then draw index finger, re-spread the fingers if they've started to curl in. And then take your fingers to your thumb, draw your thumb back towards you. Good. And just taking now a controlled articular rotation. Fancy word for moving one joint at a time with paying attention to it. So take your left hand onto your right forearm. Make a fist with your right hand and then controlling that rotation. So this is your controlled articular rotation. Just control that rotation, really try to minimize any movement in any of the other joints, and then take that rotation the other way. So we're just allowing the whole of that joint to mobilize and to reach its full range of motion. Switch sides, right hand to left forearm, make a fist, and you might well notice that each side is different. That's okay. If you're right-handed, you're likely to have more mobility there, but it's not necessarily the case. Take those rotations the other way. Really, really think. Controlled, slow, and steady. Good. And then shake it all out. And we're going to take our hands to the mat, into all fours. A little bit more familiar now, this one. Spread the hands, spread the fingers. Take the shoulders forward and rock them back. Inhale forward, exhale, rock back. Just take that a couple of times, rocking forward, rocking back. Really nice. And then on your next inhalation, just come back to neutral and then turn the fingers to face the outside of your mat. As your fingers turn to face the outside, then sway side to side, really making sure that all 5 knuckles of the palm are facing into the mat. So we're not allowing any of the muscles in the hand to sort of give up or strengthen too much. We're finding a really good balance across the whole of the palm, and all of those knuckles are in contact with the earth. Good. Then come back to neutral. Turn the fingers back to face forward. A little bit more of a challenge, this one. We're going to strengthen our wrists. So keep the fingers spread and just lift the heel of the right hand. You might not notice much of a lift, just lift a touch. Place it down. Lift the opposite hand. Place it down. Lift and lower. If you're finding this impossible, push your hips a little bit further back. It's going to take the weight out. You're going to find it easier. In the same vein, if you're finding it really easy, bring your shoulders forward and find that strength. Find that lift in your wrist. So you're trying to keep the shoulders relatively level. Of course, they'll move a touch, but we're strengthening those wrists one at a time, just slowly lifting. Good, that's it. You've got 3 more, maybe 4, keeping it even each side. That's it, you're nearly there. Good. And then wiggle the fingers to face back towards the knees so that the inner wrists face forward. And then just allow the hips to gently send backwards towards the heels to increase that stretch through the front side of the arms. Nothing major, nothing too intense, just release through the stretch of the wrists. And then turn the hands back. Take the hands out further in front of you this time. Take the big toes together. Settle into a child's pose. And just take a few cycles of breath here. And then in your own time, just gently roll all the way up to kneeling. And just gently begin to lift your gaze and open the eyes if you had them shut. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. A little bit more educational perhaps than our other videos of our Advent calendar, but hopefully you will really, really feel the benefits, not just today, but if you continue to do those exercises, hopefully you'll notice a really big difference. I try to put them into most of my own yoga practices at home, so hopefully that will give you a little bit of insight into how you can protect your wrists. I will see you tomorrow for a challenging little yoga flow that we have. And hopefully you are enjoying yourselves. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.